Ada and her parents live in a small village. She was the only child of her parents. She did all the house chores and managed the home as much as she could with the help of her mother. They lived a happy life even though they were poor. They managed everything they had. They ate together, did chores together, and sat down to discuss in front of their hut. Afterwards, they usually sit down inside their hut to have a family time and discuss and bond on how to move their family forward. The money they didn't have didn't stop them from bonding as one family. They go to the farm every morning. Ada, her mother, and her father, and they usually went with their dog. This is the only source of living that they had. At the farm, they worked so hard. They worked really hard to get the food for the day and the ones they can sell at the small market to get some money in order to buy the food stuff that they don't have. They work so hard, and after working, they get exhausted. Now every one of them is tired, including the dog. So as every one of them got tired, they decided they needed to rest a bit so they can get more energy to continue with their farm work. And then they brought out the food and they decided to eat. They ate together as they usually did, managing everything they have. They ate their yam and palm oil peacefully, which was the only food they had at the moment. Yes, the dog was not left out. The dog also joined to eat the food in his own plate. After eating, they continued to pack the cassava, some of which they have harvested already. So by now, they were already done, even the dog. So after eating, they went back to work because they had to tidy the ones remaining for the day. They worked as much as they could and they gathered the cassava that they needed for the day. They packed everything that they harvested into their baskets, ready to go home. They were really tired by then. So they went home with the girl, Ada, and her mother carrying the cassava on their head while their father carried the firewood. They went home chatting and discussing on their way. Even the dog joined in the discussion. They were a very peaceful and healthy family. So on getting home, they drop the cassava inside the pot because they needed to use it to make fufu, apple, or santana, as you may call it, while their father offloaded the firewood behind the hut. When they were done offloading all the things they came back from the farm with, they dusted off their hands happily. Ada and her mother went into the kitchen to prepare food for the family. Of course, the dog was there to assist. And you will wonder how it does. They cooked the meal while Ada and her mother kept discussing, her mother praising her for always cooking delicious meals, taking after her in the kitchen. They cooked and gisted, and when it was time, they tasted the food to make sure it was good the way they wanted it. And of course, Ada never disappoints. After dishing out the food, they sit down. They sat in front of their compound to enjoy their meal together. Even though they didn't have money, they had themselves to themselves and they enjoyed the company of each other. They sat eating and gisting. When they were done, Ada cleared the table as the good girl she is, while her parents continued gisting, chatting, and discussing, catching up old memories. As they were discussing, Ada went to the back of the hut, put her hand under her jaw, and was lost in thoughts. She was thinking of how she could further her education because her parents didn't have the fund to take her to the university. This kept on disturbing Ada. Next, she started crying uncontrollably. She couldn't control it. She was crying as she remembered her mates that have all gone to the university. Then she raised her hands and prayed to God. Oh God, please help me, help my parents. I need to go to school. Almost all my mates are already in school, but we don't have the funds to send me to school. Dear God, please help my family. As she was praying, she didn't notice her parents come to stand beside her. They watched sadly as their daughter prayed with tears in her eyes. Her mother couldn't control it. She started sobbing silently as they watched their daughter. The father also watched but was silent. Then they went to her. They held her hand and consoled her. Please, our daughter, stop crying. God will provide for us. We understand the situation that we find ourselves, especially you. You understand that many of your mates are in school and you are also very intelligent, just that we don't have the money to sponsor your education. Please, our daughter, stop crying. God will make a way for you. Then they held hands together and prayed. The father prayed, Oh God, please send me means to take my daughter to the university. She has the brain, she's very intelligent, but I lack the funds to take her to school. Please provide for us. And they said amen. The next morning, Ada and her best friend EJ went to the stream to fetch water. As they were going, they were gisting and chatting and laughing as loudly as they could. They have been friends from their childhood. Very good friends. The only difference is that while Ada was humble and gentle and respectful, EJ was the exact opposite. When they got to the stream, the two friends fetched their water. While they fetched water, an old woman came to join them. But she couldn't fetch water because of her old age. She couldn't even bend properly to fetch water. She struggled with her pot but was not successful. Ada noticed this and reached out to help her. Give me the pot, Mama. Let me help you fetch the water. The woman said, Oh no, my daughter, don't worry, I can do it. But Ada insisted. Then the woman let her fetch the water for her. While Ada fetched the water, EJ got angry. Then she shouted at Ada, Must you touch everything and everyone you see? Can't you see how dirty that woman is looking? Must you embarrass me all the time? Ada begged her friend EJ to calm down, that she was only trying to help the helpless old woman, but EJ left the stream angrily. Ada apologized to the woman. I'm sorry about that, Mama. That's my friend. She's not always like that. She must be in a bad mood. But the woman said, There's no problem, my daughter. You have a good heart. And because of that, God has answered your prayers. You have been praying to God to provide the means for you to go to school, and today He has answered you. Look over there in that garden, you will find a box, an old box, looking very dirty and tattered. But don't look at it that way, because that box has a lot of goodies inside it. Just go down a little bit into that garden. Look under the shrubs. You are going to find the box. Help yourself with the contents. Ada went on into the garden as the woman has directed her. She went and searched under the scrubs and under the small trees of vegetables. As she searched, she didn't search long. Then, lo and behold, there was the box, holding lots and lots of treasures, pearls, precious stones. Ada was marveled. She had been coming to the stream, but had never known that such a treasure existed in such a place that was not so hidden, yet no one found it. She came back to the stream carrying the box. But on getting to the stream, she met neither the old woman nor anyone else in the stream. She called out, "Mama, Mama," but no response. She looked around, but still there was no one. She called out again, "Mama, Mama, Mama," but there was no response. So she ran as fast as her legs could carry her all the way to her father's house. She didn't even look back, even at the birds that were singing. She ran so fast that her heels were touching the back of her head. Then she ran into her compound and dropped the box in front of her compound, panting for breath. When her parents saw her, they asked, "Ada, our daughter, what is the matter? Why are you running in such a pace? Is anyone after you? Did you see ghosts? What could be the matter?" Then Ada explained everything to them. "I went to the stream today to fetch water with my friend. While we got to the stream, we met an old woman who couldn't fetch water by herself. I asked to help her, and I helped her to fetch water. AJ got angry, barked at me, shouted at me and the old woman, and left. When I stayed back to help the old woman, I apologized to her. Instead, she said that God has answered my prayers, that I'm a good girl." Then she pointed to a nearby bush, a garden, and said, "There you will find some treasure." I went to the garden just as the woman had directed, not very far from the stream. And there, right under the small vegetable plants, I found the box, just as the woman described it, filled with lots and lots of treasures. I carried the box, and when I returned to the stream, I found no one. I called out to the woman, but met silence. There was no one. There was no trace of the woman. Then I ran home, and here is the box. Mama, Papa, God has answered our prayers. Her parents shouted and rejoiced and jumped. "My daughter, you must have met an angel. Oh, thank God. Now we can be able to send you to school. Now you can go to the university. Have you seen the reward of your humility, Ada?" Her mother said, "My daughter, I know you will always bring good luck to this family." Her father said, "Yes, Ada, my daughter, that's my daughter." What lesson did you learn from the story? Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you.